Although I'm in the United States of America at this time, I'm always thinking about Pakistan because Pakistan is not an ordinary place, but is that place where pure Islam will be reestablished, God willing, which means above all love. Pakistan means love, land of the pure, and purity naturally leads to love. If our hearts are pure, if we are sincere, we will be able to see the truth. And the truth is that love is the only solution to all problems. And love is increasing more and more, even if we can't see it. That's my observation. Beneath the surface of the world affairs that we see in the mass media, which is mostly lies, love is actually increasing. And I want to talk a little bit today, just for a minute, about Kashmir as the anniversary of the date when, by fabrication, manipulation, and doing things that were actually totally against the commitments of the Indian government to the people of Kashmir, when 1947 happened and when Kashmir acceded to India, there were clear limitations on what the government of India could do, and they broke those, they disregarded those promises. So that's a very, very horrible thing. Black Day we celebrate today. It's impossible for there to be any justification. Uh, they tried to make it legal, but it was obviously a total twisting of legality, what they did. This very satanic government in India, total disregard of humanity, total disregard of civility, and thinking they can do whatever they want, they won't get away with it. What will happen? I've said many times, the people of India themselves will see how horrible their government is. They will remove it and they will replace it with a government that will be more truthful and understanding and will cooperate with Pakistan to give independence to the people of Kashmir to run their own internal affairs, just like the government of India originally promised the Kashmiri people internal independence. And it was only, I think, communications, foreign affairs, and defense that Maharaj Hari Singh had granted to Indian control. Everything else was to be under the control of the Kashmiri people. And gradually they eroded that, and this final move a year ago was totally, it was actually illegal. It was against, it was manipulated, fake manipulation. So it will not stand, and when the people of India see how the people of Pakistan really have become Pak, really have become pure and sincere, loving, especially by the love between the Sikhs and Muslims in Pakistan and Khalistan, then the Indian people will reject this hellish, satanic government, and they will themselves want to join with Pakistan, Khalistan, the land of the pure. Both Khalistan and Pakistan mean land. So sorry, we were briefly cut off there. But I was saying that Pakistan and Khalistan both mean land of the pure. And when the people of Pakistan, Khalistan display their purity and their love, then the people of India will be amazed and attracted. And they themselves will want to join and become part of the land of the pure too. And then they will, in cooperation, Pakistan, Khalistan, and India will cooperate to give Kashmiris the independence that were originally given by the Indian government, internal independence. And the external affairs of Kashmir will be run by Pakistan, Khalistan, and India. That is what I was told more than 20 years ago. That is what would happen. And we are waiting for that to happen. And I believe it will happen because there's no other solution to this problem I can see. Some people think the other solution is war. Well, that's the only other possible solution. But war to nuclear war. That's what I'm afraid would happen. So I don't think all-out military war between India and Pakistan to bring independence to Kashmir will bring that result without a nuclear confrontation and a lot of nuclear bombs dropped on all the major cities of both India and Pakistan. So we should pray that Kashmir will become Bais-i-Muhabbat, not Bais-i-nafrat, the cause of love, not the cause of hatred. So that is what I was told. Those are the exact words of that Sufi Baba who told me 20, 22 years ago, Kashmir, Bais-i-nafrat nahi, Balke Bais-i-Muhabbat. This is Kashmiri culture. Kashmiri culture is full of love. It is a very, very deep, old culture in which Muslims and Hindus cooperated. We're talking about hundreds of years ago. This was the nature of the Kashmiri people, to be loving, to be kind. And that now, as that's being revived in Pakistan, Khalistan, the love and kindness, that will also be rekindled in Kashmir. And the Kashmiri people will become the cause of love, not only in India and Pakistan, but throughout the world. We will see the most beautiful valley in the world. I visited it as a child. Most beautiful place in the world is that Kashmir Valley. And it will once again become the most beautiful place in the world, where the real beauty will not be the physical beauty. The real beauty will be the love between the people of Kashmir, of different religious traditions, as they come together, understanding that there is only one God. We are all servants of the same God, so we should all work together in love. This is my message for today, and it is my prayer, and it is my belief, my conviction, that this will in fact happen. All right, let us see what comments or questions we have. Sir, what are your thoughts on Beirut explosions? Well, I think Israel has decided to take a strong position, and it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. But again, I have the same belief that when the people in Palestine and the people in Israel, that is the Muslims and the Jews, come together, praying together, using each other's prayers as well as their own prayers, then that will bring peace. No other solution is there. There's no military solution. Some people think there is, but there's not. It's only, and some people think there's a political solution. Well, there is a political solution, but the political solution will never happen until there is a spiritual solution, which is the love between, especially the Muslims and the Jews, and also the Christians, also the Druze, people of Palestine, Israel. When they come together in prayer, that will enable a political solution. So, very, very dangerous development, this escalation. All right, Fawad Khan says, Sir, I have heard that jinns can live for 1,500 years. Why us humans have average age of around 80 years only? Thanks for answering. I don't know the answer to that question. But I do know that there are other species of life that live for many thousands of years. My own spiritual mother, whom I met first, as I can recall anyway, when I was 9 years old, she told me her species, they're not human beings, but they look very much like human beings. They live for many thousands of years. So different species have different lifetimes. I don't know why humans only live 80 to maximum 100 years or so. Okay. Sir, what could be our duties as an Indian Muslim in the current situation? Oh, I've said just yesterday, and I've said quite a few times recently, and I said many months ago also, the solution to the problem in India between Muslims and Hindus, that is the total disregard of the truth of Hindu teachings of love by the Modi government, The BJP government has disregarded the true teachings of Hinduism. They are anti-Hindus. They are Hindutvavadis. That is like ISIS is not Islamic State of what is it called, Iraq and Syria. It is anti-Islamic state, going against the basic principles of Islam. So the so-called Hindutvavadis, this BJP government, they are anti-Hindu. So going against the teachings of Hinduism, they have created fear and hatred amongst the Muslims in India by total disregard of the rights according to Indian law of the Muslims and Christians also, other minorities too, to try to establish a so-called Hindu Rashtra. That's not Hindu Rashtra, what they're doing. Hindu Rashtra, if there were such a thing, would be a place of love, because Hinduism teaches Prema Pumarto Mahan. Love is the greatest duty of human beings. So, what is going on? The Indian Muslims can solve the problem by stop eating beef. I was told that. Very, very simple solution. If the Muslims in India will stop eating beef, that will solve. Sorry, we were cut off once again. But this seems so simple, but that's what I was told will actually happen. If the Indian Muslims will agree to stop eating beef, the Hindus will be so astonished and impressed that that one thing alone will solve these problems. And the good people of India will realize and will rise up against their satanic government. That is what I have been told. So you want to know what you can do as an Indian Muslim? That's what you can do. You can stop eating beef. You can ask your friends to stop eating, Indian Muslims to stop eating beef, and see the result. The result will happen very quickly. Okay. Sir, what's the difference between nafs, ego, and khudi? Thanks for answering. People ask me questions like this. I don't know if I... Sorry, again, we're getting cut off. I don't know why the signal is trouble. We had called our internet service provider just a couple of weeks, and he said he fixed this problem, which we were having. But obviously it did not get fixed. We put in a new modem, and anyway, at least it's coming back on. Sometimes it turns off and does not come back on, but for now it is coming back on, so we will continue. All right, Fawad Khan is asking many questions. Love your sweet and humble personality, but sad truth is majority nowadays are not like yourself. That's why so much hatred out there instead of love and mercy. It's not that the majority are not like me. The majority of people are. The majority of people are good and loving. But the leaders, the satanic leaders, they are misleading the people. They are promoting hatred for their own selfish purposes. The majority of people in every country are good and kind and loving by nature. That is my belief anyway. Humanity is by nature good. But the leaders are satanic, and they are misleading the people, divide and rule policy. They're trying to create division and hatred between Muslims and Hindus in India, between Jews and Muslims, especially in Israel, Palestine, between black and white people in America, between left and right. Every country, they have so-called liberals and conservatives. They're trying to get people divided to fight against each other. They love these political party systems, which they can control both parties and get them to hate each other and fight against each other. So this is what's going on in the world. The people are good, but the leaders are satanic, and they are dividing people intentionally to create hatred. But it is changing. Love is actually winning. It is increasing. The mass media is not reporting this because the mass media is controlled by the same satanic people. But it is coming. The new day of love is definitely coming. Fawad Khan, sir, is global warming a sign of Allah not happy from mankind, or is just a natural man-made phenomenon? Thanks for answering. global warming, global warming is mostly a fraud. It's a hoax. It is there is warming. I'm not saying there isn't warming, but it is the same phenomenon is happening in all the planets of our solar system. Study, you look yourself. Don't believe me. Look up the details. The temperature of all the planets in our solar system are warming. At least most of them. So it's not what they're saying. They're using this global warming as a means to increase their control over people. That is the satanic elites. So don't believe, don't believe global warming. Just like don't believe the necessity to shut down the economies of the world because of this coronavirus. That's also a hoax. There's no need to shut down the economies. This is all part of the satanic agenda to control the world. Okay, Noon says, Salam, aapse dua ke inni jahe mahare family ke liye dua farma ji. Okay, I'm having trouble reading the little Persian script on my little cell phone, but I think you're wanting some prayers for your family, so God, please bless Nuri and the family of Nuri. Fawad Khan, sir, is there any way to train our souls so that when we sleep, we dream things of our choice or visit spiritual realms of our choice? Thanks for answering. There may be. I'm sure there would be, but I don't know what it is. I've never tried very much to do that. But certainly, if you pray and think about certain things as you're going to sleep, that can, in some cases, uh, affect what you dream. But I don't know of any technique to train the soul to do that. Sir, what is your thinking about Hamas Latif says? Hamas Latif says, what is your thinking about music? Is it totally haram, or is it halal in some circumstances? And is the music has role in spirituality? Uh, yes, it is not totally haram. It is halal in circumstances. All spiritual music is good. There is spiritual music means the soul is enlivened. Actually, it is said that music is the language of the soul. In the spiritual world, I've been told, and that people sing all the time. They don't even speak; they sing. So music is not bad. Only music that has a negative purpose, because music is a very, very powerful force to influence the emotions. So uh, when music is used for spiritual purposes, it's a very powerful force for spiritual upliftment. And when music is used for negative purposes, it's a very powerful force for debasement of the soul. So music has both. So it is certainly not true. There is a misunderstanding by many Muslim scholars over the centuries that music is totally haram. No, it's not. Spiritual music is very, very good and very powerful force for good. And material music is very bad and a very powerful force for bad. Okay, let's just see. Crypto World asks, do you have any kids? Yes, I have 3 children of my own, 2 daughters and 1 son. Um, सर प्लीज़ कश्मीर के लिए दुआ करें. मैं तो कर रहा हूँ आज. बल्कि मैंने तकरीबन 1.5 घंटे आज सुबह कश्मीर के बारे में मैं दुआ कर रहा था. मैं पढ़ रहा था, समझने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि जो मुझे बताया गया था 20-22 साल पहले कि कश्मीर में ऐसे होगा, उसको समझने के लिए क्या ये हो रहा है, कब होगा. मैं तो तकरीबन 1.5 घंटे तक मैं कश्मीर के बारे में ही सिर्फ दुआ कर रहा था और पढ़ रहा था. और अच्छा, what's about Lebanon crisis today? Israel agenda, Hezbollah prospects. Well, I really don't know the prospects. All I can say is I know. What I do know is that it's a very dangerous situation. Escalation of war and hatred and fear is always dangerous. And the solution I know also, as I've already explained just a few minutes ago, the solution is for the Muslims and the Jews and the Christians and the others, everyone to come together and pray together. Literally, in the Masjid al-Aqsa, in the Temple of Solomon, they're the same spot. Uh, there should be namaz recited, and there should be Jewish prayers also. That will bring peace for everyone in the region, everyone in the world, I could say. Crypto World asks, when you come to Pakistan again, inshallah, in October. That's the plan that my wife and I have. We will see if we can arrange it, if God arranges. And where you lived in Pakistan. Somebody asked me this question just yesterday. My first home was Khanewal, next was Lahore, next was Raiwind, next was Karachi, and now is Kartarpur. These, I haven't lived there yet, but that's my home now. I consider that my home. So those were my 5 places where I lived in Pakistan. Sir, आप राम राम क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि राम अल्लाह का नाम है. राम सिर्फ वो अयोध्या का बादशाह का नाम नहीं है, वो अल्लाह का नाम है. तो और राम राम बोलने से अल्लाह अल्लाह के साथ और तोइनी तोइनी के साथ और अदुनाय अदुनाय के साथ और एक ओमकार के साथ और अभी सलाम सलाम के साथ अमन, मोहब्बत, सच्चाई, इंसाफ सब कायम हो जाएंगे. ये तरीका है, मुझे ये बताया गया, मुझे मालूम नहीं, बल्कि जहाँ तक मैंने देखा, मैंने महसूस की थी, इसमें बड़ी ताकत है. अल्लाह पाक के सब नाम साथ में बोलना. तो इंडिया और पाकिस्तान में अमन उस वक्त आएगा इंशाल्लाह जब हिंदू और मुसलमान साथ में अल्लाह के नाम लेते हैं, मुख्तलिफ ज़बानों में, ख़ासकर हिंदी या संस्कृत ज़बान में और अरबी या उर्दू ज़बान में जो अल्लाह के नाम हैं, और पंजाबी विच जो एक ओंकार दा नाम है. इन सब को हम एक साथ में अगर लेंगे तो अमन, मोहब्बत पैदा होगा, अमन आएगा इंशाल्लाह. अच्छा, sorry, we were cut off once again. Let us see. Fawad Khan says, Sir, how can one tell that one is progressing in spiritual journey towards Allah, or that Allah is coming closer to us, or that He is liking our efforts? Thanks for answering. Well, we will be happy. We will become more and more interested in serving. We will become kinder and more loving, more peaceful, more truthful, more just. These are the symptoms of becoming closer to Allah. There are many more, but those are some of the more important ones. So if that is happening to you, then you know you're getting closer to Allah, because these are the great qualities of Allah. I can't even read these names. They're very small. Anyway, Binte Arman something. Read your name. Assalamu alaikum. I wait your program. I don't know why. Please remember me in your prayer. Oh God, please bless Binte Amin. I think that's the right reading of it. Harman Latif says, or Harmas Latif says, is it true Pakistan can become superpower in the future and lead world? Yes. Not only can become, but will become, inshallah. Not only I am saying that, Sufi Barkat Ali Sahib, he said that also. Many great saints have predicted that. Pakistan will become the center of an Islamic renaissance, pure Islamic renaissance, that means love and truth and justice, will be established in Pakistan, inshallah. And the countries of the world will see what has happened in Pakistan, how people have become so kind and loving, so truthful and honest. Just the opposite of what we have experienced in the past. Uh, just like in Arabia at the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, it was the most ignorant place in the world. So I was saying before we got cut off there, just like at the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Arabia was full of ignorance, the most ignorant place in the world. And it became the place of light, a place of civilization. Uh, and that transformation was proof of the power of God. So, in the same way, the fact that Pakistan was considered the center of terrorism and of corruption and of hatred, uh, when Pakistan becomes the superpower of love, the superpower of truth and justice, the superpower of honesty and purity, then that will be proof of the power of God. So that is the future of Pakistan, inshallah. Uh, if, not if, I think it will happen, but when only, when the Pakistani people themselves become Pak, when pure-hearted, sincere people gather together in Pakistan and reinforce each other's efforts for truthfulness and purity and love, kindness, compassion, and of course, elevated of God, repetitive, mechanical, but deep, uh, loving worship of God and calling on the names of God. That is what will bring about the pure purpose of Pakistan. And Pakistan will then become the superpower in the world, God willing. Okay, Fawad Khan. Dear Sir Alan, please also pray for my spiritual journey to be successful. God, please help Fawad Khan's spiritual journey to be successful, which may mean you will suffer a lot now. I've prayed that because spiritual success usually follows a lot of suffering. So if that's not what you want, don't ask me to pray for your spiritual journey to be successful, because almost always, maybe not always, but almost always, the more we suffer, the more we progress in spiritual life. But most people don't want to suffer, so they don't want really progress. So I don't know what you want, Fawad Khan, sir, but be careful what you ask me to pray for. Now I've already done it. Hashim Khan says, Aap ne na आपने something देखा है तलागंग से हूँ. अच्छा, ये एक जगह का नाम है. आपको बहुत पसंद करता हूँ, आप कभी आओ. अच्छा, inshallah, फिर आऊँगा. AB says, but Sir, Ram is not in Quran, only Allah. Yes, because Quran is in Arabic. The Ram name of God is not an Arabic name. You won't find a Ram name. You won't find the word God in the Quran. That's an English word. You won't find Tao. That's a Chinese word for God. You won't find that in the Quran because Quran is in Arabic. So you will find Arabic names of God there. Rahim is there, many names of God, but not the non-Arabic names, because Quran is revealed in the Arabic language. Ertugal Ghazi official says, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Ram is not name of Allah, it's name of Hindu God. No, you are wrong. Well, you're not completely wrong, because there is a person named Ram who was the king of Ayodhya, and he is worshipped as God by some Hindus, not by all. But Ram is also a name of Allah. And for example, Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, he called the name of Ram. They said when he was shot and he was dying, he said Ram. He didn't mean that king of Ayodhya. He meant Allah. So many Hindus understand that the name Ram is a name of the supreme God, the source of everything, Allah. So it's not only Ram is a name of that king of Ayodhya, who is worshipped as a god by some Hindus, but it's also the name of Allah. Just like there's so many names of God which are also names of human beings, but that name Ram is a name of God in the Sanskrit language. It is also the name of a king. But when I say Ram, I mean Allah. And many Hindus also. आपने ठीक कहा, हम भी तो खुदा कहते हैं, हम भी खुदा कहते हैं, जबकि अरबी में अल्लाह है, अल्लाह ही है. हाँ हाँ, खुदा तो अरबी लफ्ज़ शायद नहीं है, मुझे मालूम नहीं, शायद खुदा लफ्ज़ अरबी में हर कुरान शरीफ में नहीं है, लेकिन खुदा भी अल्लाह पाक का एक नाम है. शायद वो फ़ारसी ज़बान से आ गया, मुझे मालूम नहीं खुदा कहाँ से है. नहीं जी, पर ईमान ज़रूरी है. हाँ, नबी जी, पर हाँ, हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को हम मानते हैं कि वो अल्लाह पाक के आखिरी नबी है. आखिरी मतलब क़यामत तक. अच्छा, सुपर पावर इज़ ओनली अल्लाह सर. हाँ, मोहम्मद अली साहब बिल्कुल सही है. सुपर पावर ओनली अल्लाह. बल्कि अल्लाह पाक किसी भी मुल्कों में एक सुपर पावर बना सकता है, और वो पाकिस्तान को सुपर पावर बनाएगा इंशाल्लाह इस दुनिया के मुल्कों में. ओके, बहुत सारे कमेंट्स हैं. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू बी एबल टू रीड ऑल ऑफ देम, but I will read one or two more. Fawad Khan, sir, I have heard that Russia will attack Europe and destroy UK in the coming years. Hope, inshallah, your predictions of peace come through, as internet is full of predictions of conflict and wars. I don't think Russia will attack Europe and destroy UK in coming years, and I believe that the international nuclear holocaust, which many people are expecting and predicting, will not come. That is what I have been told very, very clearly. So don't worry about the internet. It's full of all sorts of disinformation also. People who know it's not true, they say things. Other people say what they think is true, but it's not true. But don't believe most of what's on the internet. Don't believe almost all of what's in the mass media either. Okay. रूहानियत और तसव्वुफ की ताल्लुकात आज कम हो गई हैं. लोग जानते भी नहीं कि अल्लाह है, क्या कि अल्लाह से कुर्ब होने का